if you go to Seoul Dongdaemun Market, you might find this statue. This is John Tae-il. It's because he was a symbol of rights of labor. Many workers were protesting in this spot, and then he remains in our mind, and he became our soul of right for people or laborers. So until now, I've talked about awareness of problem of him and chasing the dream, and afterwards the impacts. So I found useful video clip.
As a 16-year-old, he had a simple dream. He wanted to learn skills that would let him lead a stable life and help reunite his family, which had been separated by poverty. Chung Tae-il wanted to resume the education that he was forced to quit at elementary school. But as a garment cutter at Pyeonghwa Market, he faced a stark reality. At the time, working conditions in Korea were extremely poor. In Pyeonghwa Market, girls as young as 14 years old worked as assistant cutters. They had to work 15 hours a day and suffered diseases such as tuberculosis from working there. Chung Tae-il spent his bus fare to help the girls who worked through lunch on empty stomachs and made the 3-hour journey back home on foot. In his diary, he wrote about his dream of creating a moral, exemplary clothing business. He wanted to show businessmen in society, especially the business owners at Pyeonghwa Market, that their businesses could still succeed while paying tax fairly and treating workers humanely, not like machines, but like youths at the prime age for learning. 50 sewing machines, 157 employees, $30,000 startup capital. He used more than 25 pages to draw up a blueprint for a moral and exemplary business. However, his dream never succeeded because he could not raise the $30,000 he needed to start the business. But he worked even harder to improve working conditions in Korea. He studied the labor standards law and sent a petition to the government. But it was ignored. On November 13, 1970, at the age of 22, in the middle of Pyeonghwa Market, John Tae-il set himself on fire, crying, "Comply with the Labor Standards Act." His sacrifice brought attention to businesses' inhumane treatment of workers. The labor movement became bigger and more active, and as society grew more concerned about the issue, it eventually developed into a social movement. Even at this very moment, many people are working to stop improper practices and to improve working conditions so that Chung Tae-il's sacrifice will not have been in vain.
So, although his dream of being a tailor or reuniting his family or starting his education again was all shattered, ignored. But I admired him because he's such a brave guy and he's there to be different. Many people think themselves as really small persons, small individuals. It's difficult to change this world. But he didn't care about how small he was, how poor he was. He was just trying to change these really, really awful conditions. So I admire him because he was really brave man and dare to be different and really, literally changing the world. Thank you.